Hi friends, welcome back with new amazing video from Top Movies Recap. Today I'm going to recap a 2019 drama and thriller film titled Parasite. Spoiler warning, watch out and take care. The film begins with a man named Kai-tik, his wife Chung-suk, their daughter Kai-chung, and her son Kai-woo. They've been crammed into a cramped basement. They had to fight tooth and nail to stay alive due to their bad financial situation. They used to produce pizza boxes to help support their family, but this wasn't enough to cover all of the household needs. Kai-woo's university acquaintance pays him a visit one day. He hands Kai-woo a stone and adds, "This is from my grandfather for you. This stone was supposed to be extraordinary, and it was thought that by possessing it, the possessor would acquire bliss through a twist of fate." Kai-woo confides in his pal about his dire financial situation. His pal informs him that he is going to study in another country. "You can instruct that girl whom I used to instruct in English." Kai-woo write on it, "I'm not going to college, so they're not going to hire me." His friend responds, "I'll suggest you, but only if his sister fabricates a bogus diploma." Because Kai's sister Woo's is a graphic designer, she creates a degree for him, and Kai-woo then goes to that location to teach. That is a lovely and spacious home. Park belongs to an aristocratic family. This family also has 4 members, including a husband and wife, as well as a son and a daughter. There is also a maid who has been with the company for quite some time. He gives a demonstration, and Da-hai's mother joins in with her daughter. After that, Kai-woo discovers that her younger brother Da-song enjoys painting. They hired a lot of teachers for it, but none of them stayed. "Because Kai-woo thinks my sister is talented, I advise she teach him art." During a conversation with Da-mother Songs, he says, "My cousin is artistic, so I urge you hire her." Da-mother Songs agrees after hearing it, and Kai-woo introduces her sister, who goes by the name Jessica. No one's real name is revealed so that their bloodline can't be traced. Kai-chung impersonates Jessica and becomes the child's art teacher. She also informs them that I am an art therapist, which impresses them. These 2 brothers and sisters are now working as teachers for those brothers and sisters. The owner of his house, Kanafum, arrives as Jessica takes her first class. He directs his driver to Jessica's residence. He also follows orders. Because it is too late, the driver goes to drop Jessica. "You may drop me off at the metro station," Jessica says to the driver. And it's there that the driver leaves her. Jessica plays a ruse in a car so that the driver's character is questioned by the owner. His wife then inquires about Jessica's experience the night she was dropped by the driver. She writes on it that she got off at the metro stop and then went to her residence. They then terminate their driver's employment. Jessica does it so that her father can take the driver's place. Then she suggests that they hire my father's brother, who is an accomplished diver. After that, she introduces her father, referring to him as her father's brother and driver. Her father is offered a position as well. 3 of them, as father, brother, and sister, are able to carry out their duties in this manner. Then we notice that at this coaching class, Kai-woo and Da-hai are starting to like each other. Kai-woo and Kai-chung are now looking for a job in that house for their mother. They'll have to relieve the maid of her duties in order to accomplish this. It was not, however, without difficulty. They devised a strategy as a result. An allergy of peach fuzz can affect anyone. When Kai-woo comes, her father also shows up. He snaps a selfie with a picture of her in it. After that, he takes the house owner shopping and informs him that he saw the housemaid in the hospital. She was also photographed while selfieing. I've heard her reluctantly admit that she has tuberculosis. Then he sends Kai-chung a message saying that we'll be home in 3 minutes. And then the maid begins to cough. Meanwhile, the lady proprietor arrives at her residence. After using the tissue paper, that maid dumps it in the trash. Their driver walks up to the trash can, where tissue paper has been thrown. He shows his lady owner the sauce splattered on tissue paper. As a result, the lady owner trusts her driver's statements, and the maid is tuberculosis infected. After that, the lady owner asks the driver not to mention your sir to the driver. He is going to be irritated. His wife is finally hired. They are now all serving in the same household, which eliminates any ambiguity. They were using phony names and living there under the pretense of deception. Their situation has improved recently. Their precarious condition becomes less precarious. With the steady food, they are getting a terrific value. On Da birthday, Song's the Park family decides to go on a picnic, and they go for it. They have all been rejoicing and having a party since their departure. The doorbell rings unexpectedly, and the ex-maid is standing at the door. "My luggage has left here, which I want to take," she says. Chung-suk welcomes her inside and leads her to the basement. Even after a long time has gone, that lady does not return. Chung-suk goes to check her out. She is pushing an immovable closet because a plate is trapped inside. As a result of Chung-suk removing the plate, the cupboard gets shifted. There is a hidden passage behind the cupboard that leads downhill. When this maid arrives, she discovers a man who is truly her husband. For the past 4.5 years, she is kept and hidden here. It is unknown to the Park family because the previous living family has failed to inform them. Because he is in debt, she has concealed her husband here. If he does not pay, he will be killed. The maid then begs that Chung-suk bring meals to my husband in a week's time and that the refrigerator be made available. In exchange, I will compensate you. Chung-suk refuses to threaten her with calling the cops. That lady begs you not to do it that way. They all fall before them when one of them trips. Upon seeing that, the maid creates a film in which Kaiwoo says things like, "My father, my foot." It is well known that they are related and that they acquired this position through the back door. She threatens to send the tape to the house's lady owner, but Chung-suk pleads with her not to. She brings her husband down to the bottom floor and tells them to get up and raise their hands. As they do so, she records them and their party table on tape. They all attack the couple and remove the footage from the phone. While they are having a disagreement, the phone rings. When Chung-suk answers the phone, it is the lady owner who is on the other end of the line. She informs us that the excursion has been canceled due to heavy rain, and that we will be back in 8 minutes, and they have to do it all in less than 8 minutes. They put their hand on the mouths of the husband and wife during the call. After that, they secure the husband and wife in the basement and begin cleaning the house. While ordering meals, the lady proprietor informs Chung-suk that my son awoke on his birthday night. After that, he saw a phantom. He is, however, the spouse of maid, not a ghost. They, on the other hand, consider him a ghost. It's raining, so their kid Da-song decides to camp outside for the night. While Kaiwoo, Kai-chung, and Kai-teek are hidden beneath the sofa, they are both talking to each other. Kai-teek is their driver, and the house owner tells his wife that he has an awful odor. He is saying the truth because their living quarters are a dump, and their entire family has a foul odor on their bodies and clothes. They're upset because Da-song once claimed that my teacher has the same odor as a driver or a maid. Then they consider changing their towel and soap, but the odor is coming from their home, not from their bodies. And after they're both asleep, they all go to the basement of their house, leaving the sofa behind. It's pouring outside. As they approached their home, they saw it was flooded. Because of the open window, all of the water enters the house. They proceed to a location where the majority of the people are sleeping. And it is there that they spend the night. Kai-chung gets a call from the lady owner, who invites her to come work as a teacher for the sake of our child's pleasure. After that, she goes shopping at the market. A weird odor emanates from her driver, prompting her to place her hand over her nose. The driver is dissatisfied with this response. He does not want others to act in this manner. His lady owner does not wish to respond, but she is obligated to do so. While Kaiwoo and his student Da-hai are upstairs, a party is being hosted. Kaiwoo asks, "Do you think we're among them?" She nods and says yes to it. They are not, however, among them, and he believes that if the basement residents come up, the entire truth will be disclosed. He brings a stone that his friend has given him. He proceeds to the basement where the maid and her husband live and takes this stone. Before nightfall, the housemaid is dead. She tries to flee upstairs as they take them to the basement. Chung-suk kicks her, and she falls to the ground and dies as a result. It is unknown to all 4 family members. Hee-woo reaches down into the cellar and picks up the stone. He drops a stone, but he picks it up and carries it to the location. He come here with the intention of assassinating them both. As a result, their secret may never be revealed. For the sake of his own protection, he is willing to accept any danger. He makes small steps forward. The maid's husband, now free, drives Kaiwoo by the rope, which he wraps around his neck and ties at a location. He then lifts the same stone and comes dangerously close to hitting Kaiwoo but misses. He flees but falls in the cellar, and when he returns, he severely injures him. He arrives at the party location and notices Kai-chung, who is carrying a cake to Da-song. He recognizes her right away. He stabs her in the chest with a knife, injuring her. Kai-father Chung applies pressure to her wound to reduce blood flow. Her wound, though, is quite profound. When Chung-suk notices that he has assaulted her daughter, she comes closer to him. They are embroiled in a terrible feud. During the fight, Chung-suk murders that man. Now the owner of the house wants to get his key from under that dead individual. He detects an odor and places his palm over his mouth while taking the key. His facial expressions change when his driver notices him doing so. He becomes enraged and strikes his owner with a knife. Kai-teek does it because his owner required the key in order to transport his comatose son to the hospital. His own daughter, on the other hand, is dying, but no one seems to notice. Kai-teek seems perplexed with his owner. If he places his palm on his nose when taking the key from the ex-maid's husband, he becomes enraged because his body smells like that person's and he links himself with that person. He understands why such individuals dislike them. Because of his narrow-mindedness, he attacks him. After then, the driver vanishes. Kai-chung is no longer alive, while Kaiwoo has recovered but is suffering from mental illness. The mother and son were then found guilty of deception, fraud, and conspiracy. However, the court does not impose any penalties and only gives them instructions. The German family buys the Park family's home. This house's past is unknown to them because he hides in the basement after killing his owner. Driver Kai-teek is still present. Nobody is aware of this. He also sends forth Morse code messages via the flickering light indicating that he is still alive. Morse code is a type of signal that allows two people to communicate with each other. His son Kaiwoo, who observes signals through binoculars from a distance, delivers the message by turning on and off the flickering light. He decodes the code and discovers that his father is still alive and well in the basement. He also expresses regret for assassinating the Park family's patriarch. He expresses regret for leaving his photo before it was taken. Kaiwoo predicts that he will make a lot of money and that the two of them will buy the same house. You must also come up from the basement where we will be waiting for you. It happens, Kaiwoo buys the house, and Kai-teek emerges fearlessly from the cellar. He meets his family, but his imaginations take him beyond reality. We hope you enjoyed our video from today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to receive notifications of new and interesting videos.